Are we ready? 10 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Board of Public Utilities meeting on January 10th, 2024. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Secretary, will you please read the notice?
Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice has been posted on the board's office and website and emailed to the Department of State and to newspapers of broad circulation within the state.
Thank you. Just want to call out that we do have a new commissioner up here, so the roll call will be a little bit different today, but we will do more formal introductions when we come back from executive session. So can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Cristodoulou?
Here.
Commissioner Adu?
Here.
Commissioner Bain?
Here.
President Gustavovich?
Here. And our next meeting is?
The next regular board meeting will be held on Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. It'll be a hybrid meeting in person at the board hearing room at 44 South Clinton Avenue in Trenton and live stream via YouTube.
Thank you. And we are deferring an item today, 8A, to a future agenda. There will be an executive session. We'll be discussing 2D, 8A, and 8B. And will the Attorney General's office please explain the justification?
Good morning, President Gulsadovich, Commissioners. Items 2D and 8B fall under exception B7 of the Open Public Meetings Act found under NJSA 10.4-12 as matters fall within the contract negotiation exception.
Thank you. I expect the executive session will be approximately 15 minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we will be back. Thanks, everybody. Okay, we are back. Good morning. I just want to start with, before we acknowledge our new commissioner, I just want to start with just a brief thank you and appreciation to our utility workers. We had, some significant weather last night, and at any point, tens of thousands of outages. And so the utility workers throughout New Jersey were out in that weather, getting people restored as quickly as possible. Line workers, forest and hazard crews. And so just want to acknowledge them for that work, getting people restored. And, hopefully we will be out of the restoration period, in the next couple of days at the latest. So we now have a new commissioner, Commissioner Mike Bange, who is joining us with 30 years experience in a water utility. We're really thrilled to have him. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself, but I just want to say how excited we all are to have Commissioner Bange joining us. So, Commissioner?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Is it on? There we go. Sorry, can you hear me now? Good morning, everyone. So happy and thankful to be here. And the one thing I really want to say thank you for is the warm welcome that everybody has given me in day 3 today. So again, thank you very much. I look forward to working with everybody here and meeting the folks that I haven't met yet. So I just ask for you to give me some patience to get my feet built in here to get running. So with that, I'd say thank you again.
Absolutely. We're so thrilled that you're here. So to that end, I think we can all agree that we've seen some changes in the board over the last couple of years. But, Mike Bange and all of my colleagues and all of the staff here in particular bring such a wealth of knowledge to the BPU. And I think we're so fortunate to have the institutional knowledge of so many staff members, the knowledge that the commissioners bring to the table. And so, really excited about what the next year has to come. What has not changed is the administration's commitment to clean energy and Governor Murphy's commitment to our clean energy goals. So we look forward in 2024 to moving forward on those goals. Any opening remarks from my colleagues?
Madam President, if I could, I just want to welcome Commissioner Bange. It's so great to meet you, to get to know you, and I know that you'll bring a wealth of experience to the board and to New Jersey as a whole. So welcome. It's a pleasure. You have big shoes to fill, or high heels. I'm sure Commissioner Holden would prefer this clarification.
That's after hours, sorry.
But you're among friends, and the staff will help educate you and bring you up to speed very quickly. So welcome, and we're excited to be working with you.
I would say I would echo those sentiments, but I'm going to refrain from shoe filling, and I will just welcome you to the board.
Thank you.
In addition, we're going to welcome some new staff members today. If you could just stand, you don't have to say anything, although you're more than welcome to if you would like, but if you could just stand when I say your name. Jasleen Basra in the Division of Clean Energy. Welcome. Ryan Perry in the Secretary's Office. Sonia Keating in the Division of Clean Energy. And Victoria Bridges in the Division of Administration. Welcome. We wish you all the success and look forward to working with all of you. Thank you. Again, we just want to remind everyone that we are deferring item 8A, and if the secretary will present the consent agenda before we proceed to the general.
Yes, Madam President. On consent agenda, items 2A, 3A, 3B, 4A, 5A, and 7A. Need a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Commissioner Crystal Delou?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bange?
Yes.
President Gulsadovi?
Yes. Thank you. And now on to our regular agenda.
Please, Mr. Bange.
Sorry, abstain.
Oh,
Please let the
yeah.
record reflect that Mr. Bange.
Sorry, I'm going to abstain from that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, moving to our regular agenda. No.
Madam President, I have to do approval of the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
On consent agenda items 9A1, this will be the approval of the minutes for July 12th. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Abstain?
I'm going to do the roll call vote. Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Abstain.
Commissioner Beige,
Abstain.
President Gold-Sidonian.
Yes, thank you.
I'm also going to do the consent agenda items 9A2. This will be the approval of the minutes for July 26th and August 16th, 2023. Need a motion and a second.
Second.
Abstain?
Roll call.
Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Beige,
Abstain.
President Gold-Sidonian.
Yes. How'd we do, Mike?
We're getting
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're keeping it lively for all of you. Now we are on to our regular agenda with Stacy Peterson, 2A.
Good morning, President. Good morning, Commissioners. On July 31st, South Jersey Gas filed a petition seeking approval of an increase in its energy efficiency tracker rate associated with its energy efficiency programs. Following the receipt of updated information, the parties have executed a stipulation resolving the matter. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer will experience an increase of $1.37 in their monthly bill. Staff recommends the board issue an order adopting the stipulation and directing South Jersey to file revised tariffs by February 1st.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Beige,
Abstain?
President Gold-Sidonian.
Yes. Thank you. And Stacy, 2B.
On July 31st, South Jersey also filed a petition requesting approval to revise the rates associated with its transportation initiation clause and the remediation adjustment clause and clean energy program component of its societal benefits charge. Following a review of the petition and subsequent updates, the parties have executed a stipulation resolving the matter. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer would experience an increase of 10 cents on a monthly basis. Staff recommends the board approve the stipulation and direct South Jersey to file revised tariffs by February 1st.
So moved.
second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Beige,
Abstain?
President Gold-Sidonian.
Yes. Thanks. Stacy, 2C.
On October 20th, Butler Electric filed a petition seeking authority to maintain the return of excess collection credit rate component of its zero emission certificate recovery charge. By the petition, Butler also requested that the board develop a streamlined system for future filings that will allow the company to most efficiently handle the balances. Rate Counsel filed comments recommending that the board, among other things, deny Butler's request to increase its ZEC RC in excess of 0.004 per kilowatt hour. Staff recommends that the board approve the maintenance of Butler's current rate and direct Butler to file revised tariffs by February 1st. Additionally, staff recommends that the board deny Butler's request, but notes that several of the electric distribution companies have made similar requests to modify the handling of these filings. Accordingly, staff recommends the board direct Butler to work collaboratively with the other EDCs, staff, and rate counsel prior to the next filing in an attempt to find a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Beige,
Abstain?
President Gold-Sidonian.
Yes. Still here, Stacy. 2D.
On December 29th, Public Service Electric and Gas Company filed a base rate case for approval of an increase in its current base rates for both electric and gas service. Given the anticipated complexities involved in the matter, staff recommends that the board authorize staff to issue a request for quotation on behalf of the board to hire a consultant to provide support in the proceeding, consistent with the discussions in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Beige,
Abstain?
President Gold-Sidonian.
Yes. Thank you, Stacy. Moving on, 3A, Belinda.
Good morning, Commissioners, and welcome, Commissioner Bange. This matter involves the resolution of a service quality proceeding regarding Altis's cable television services through a stipulation of settlement. By order dated February 17, 2021, the Board opened this docket, initiating an investigation into the adequacy of service provided by Altis based on numerous complaints and inquiries from at least 10 municipalities and several state legislators regarding various issues their residents and constituents experienced regarding problems with Altis's service. The townships of Robbinsville, Hamilton, Montville, and Howell, and the boroughs of Seaside Heights and Seaside Park were granted intervenor status. The townships of West Milford, Piscataway, and Toms River, and the borough of Sayreville were granted participant status in the proceeding. A virtual public hearing was held on March 16, 2021, which was attended by over 300 participants and approximately 60 speakers who provided detailed encounters of their experiences with deficiencies in Altis's service, including untrained customer service staff, long hold times, persistent outages, slow or spotty internet service, inadequate repairs requiring multiple tech visits, and overall dissatisfaction with the services provided. Following Board staff's review of the comments and complaints received, on April 27, 2021, the Board issued an order requiring Altis to respond to numerous staff information requests in order to evaluate the next steps in the investigation and determine what corrective actions may be necessary to ensure Altis's provision of safe, adequate, and proper service. Responses provided by Altis documented numerous changes that had been implemented to its customer service platforms, as well as upgrades to its infrastructure to address the various issues. In addition, Altis engaged each of the municipalities that were parties to the proceeding in one-on-one meetings to discuss the complaints from their residents, and also followed up on almost all of the complaints received by the Board. Several settlement discussions held between the municipalities, as well as the New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel and staff, resulted in a stipulation of settlement being reached, which was filed with the Board on December 21st, 2023, providing commitments from Altis to the municipalities for a 3-year term to address many of the concerns raised in the investigation. Commitments by Altis include an $11 million capital commitment to infrastructure, submission of reports to municipalities, staff, and Rate Counsel on network maintenance, service quality, and customer service complaint levels, consistent training for all field operations and management staff, network maintenance, outages, and emergency operations reporting, free 1 gig high-speed broadband service to one community anchor institution in each of the municipalities, sponsorship of community initiatives by Altis in the municipalities totaling up to $120,000 across all communities, and a commitment for various notice and reporting requirements as provided for by law. Staff has reviewed the proposed stipulation and concludes that it represents a just and reasonable resolution of the issues brought forth in the proceeding, and therefore recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Lawanda. We really look forward to the improved service that we will see going forward with Altis. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bange? President Goolsbee?
Yes. Thanks, Lawanda. 4A, Valerie Bullard.
Good morning, Commissioners, Madam President. Today's agenda item is in the matter of the Digital Equity Planning Grant. We're here today to request authorization for the release of New Jersey's Digital Equity Plan to the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, or NTIA. Submission of the Digital Equity Plan is required pursuant to the Digital Equity Act and authorized pursuant to the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Consistent with instructions from NTIA and the Digital Equity Act Notice of Funding Opportunity, the draft of the proposal was made available to the public on October 31st, 2023. Also on October 31st, 2023, a request for comments in connection with the Digital Equity Plan was published on the Board's website, and requested comments were filed no later than November 30th. Following the close of comment period for the digital equity plan, board staff finalized drafts of this plan with consideration afforded to the comments filed by the public. With the comment public period having closed on November 30th and the due date for submission of the digital equity plan fast approaching, staff recommend that the board authorize the release of the Digital Equity Act plan to NTIA on or by January 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thanks, Valerie, and to the whole, not just the Office of Broadband Connectivity, but all of the staff. I know some of these plans have been tight on turnaround time, and so just want to say thank you to all of you and the Office of Cable who have worked on it, as well as the support from NTIA. They have really been so valuable as a partner, and of course the members of the public who commented on the plan. And I also just want to thank my colleagues, because I know sometimes we have a lot to review and the turnaround time is not as long as we would like, so just want to thank my colleagues as well for that. This is really exciting. Thank you. Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Baines?
Abstain.
President Gosadovi?
Yes.
Thank you, Valerie. Welcome back, Stacy.
Did you miss me?
Always.
On May 15th, Middlesex Water filed a petition requesting authorization to recover costs associated with the company's plan to replace customer-side lead service lines. Following a review of the petition, conducting discovery, and several settlement discussions, the parties have executed a stipulation which would authorize the company to implement its plan. As a result of the stipulation, there is no immediate impact to customer rates. However, based on the estimated rollout of the plan, the average monthly bill impacts will range from $2.39 to $5.72. Staff recommends the board approve the stipulation.
So moved.
Second.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Thank you. Again, this the lead remediation is a big initiative of this administration. So really appreciate all of the work on this, and the importance of removing lead from the water system is so critical. And want to thank my colleague for presiding over this matter.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I just like to say, I assume that Commissioner Baines will be abstaining from this also, but I know he knows more about this than all of us. So I'm looking forward in the future for him not to abstain and for me to defer to his expertise. So, Commissioner, I know that you'll be a valuable asset to all of us.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Baines?
Abstain.
President Gosadovi?
Yes. Thank you. And we again are deferring 8A. Sorry, Kevin, wherever you are. And going to 8B with Dr. Kira Lawrence.
Good morning, President Gosadovi, Commissioners. On May 4th, 2022, the board approved a waivered contract for Levitan and Associates to assist staff in developing and issuing the third solicitation for offshore wind generation and to evaluate responses to that solicitation. Levitan has completed the majority of its services for the third offshore wind solicitation. During the development of the solicitation guidance document and subsequent to receipt of proposals in response to the third offshore wind solicitation, additional services not contemplated in the approved LAI contract were identified relating to the offshore wind transmission network readiness and the pre-built infrastructure. In addition, on November 29th, 2023, Governor Murphy directed the BPU to accelerate to early 2024, issuing and reviewing responses to the fourth solicitation for offshore wind generation. In order for staff to comply with the governor's direction, a consultant is needed to begin work as soon as possible. LAI has been the board's consultant for all three previous solicitations, and given LAI's experience with providing the necessary services, their knowledge of the board's processes, and the time needed to develop the solicitation guidance document for issuance in early 2024, LAI's consulting services are needed for the fourth solicitation for offshore wind generation. Staff recommends that the board approve a modification to the LAI contract for the additional third solicitation services and for the fourth solicitation services as discussed in executive session. All approvals have been received for this modification request from New Jersey's Office of Information Technology, the New Jersey Office of Management and Budget, and the New Jersey Department of the Treasury.
So moved.
Thank you, Kira, and the whole team who's been working on this. Again, somewhat tight turnaround sometimes, and so really appreciate it. Of course, to you and your team, but also to our procurement team, who have been really helpful on getting this done, and also to our sister agencies. Thanks. Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delou?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bange? President Gulcedovi?
Yes. Thank you. Thanks. Laura, 8C.
Morning, Madam President, Commissioners. This matter pertains to a request for a waiver of the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities or board citing prohibitions for competitive solar incentive eligible facilities or CSI eligible facilities at NJAC 14:8-12.3A1. Pursuant to NJAC 14:8-12.6, the North Jersey District Water Supply Commission, or NJDWSC, in conjunction with NextAmp Solar, LLC, or NextAmp, collectively the petitioners, filed a petition with the board seeking to waive the prohibition. Petitioners seek to locate a solar project on the Wanacue Reservoir within the Highlands Preservation Area, specifically at Block 106, Lot 1, at 1FA Arecchio Drive, Wanacue, Passaic County, New Jersey, 07465, referred to as the project. The project is planned to be approximately 10 megawatts of direct current, consisting of 2 islands, each approximately 10 acres in size, with on-land interconnection components. In support of citing the project on a prohibited land use, petitioners point to various benefits they assert would be provided by the project. Board staff acknowledges that the resiliency benefits to critical infrastructure and the economic benefits to the communities impacted by the project are supported by the state's and the board's clean energy goals. Similarly, the environmental benefits cited by petitioners have some scientific support. However, staff notes that over the last 2 to 3 years, petitioners have failed to provide the missing site-specific information requested by the Highlands Council and the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, or NJDEP, regarding the project. This failure to address the specific concerns of the relevant administrative agencies outweighs general statements about environmental or community benefits. Pursuant to the CSI siting rules, for consideration of waiving the prohibition for siting CSI eligible facilities on prohibited land uses at NJAC 14:8-12.6A, quote, "The board or its designee shall make a positive finding with regard to any such petition only upon the following: 1, consulting with other state agencies as appropriate; 2, determining that the petitioner has documented sufficient facts and circumstances establishing the public's specific interest in citing the CSI eligible facility on or within a prohibited land use; and 3, finding the waiver is in the public interest." Based on the information contained in the petition, Highlands Council's documentation pertaining to the project, and the NJDEP's findings, staff recommends that the board not make a positive finding that the project as proposed is in the public interest and deny the petitioner's request for a land use waiver. The denial means that petitioners are not allowed to move forward in the CSI program's second solicitation pre-qualification process for the project because it would be located within the Highlands Preservation Area. This is without prejudice, and the applicant will be able to resubmit the waiver request with additional information.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
I know how difficult this type of decision is because this is part of what we're trying to do, is try and get as much renewable energy out there. But I know you were very judicious, and we also were up here to make sure that we don't conflate our objectives and our goals with following the rules. So I know how difficult this was, and I can encourage other developers to please be a little bit more precise with their filings and on time with things, so things can move forward for everyone.
Agree. Thank you. Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delue?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul? Commissioner Bain? President Gulcedovi?
Thank you. Laura, you're still with us.
I am.
Lucky for us.
This matter is related to a request for a waiver of the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities or boards citing prohibitions for competitive solar incentive eligible facilities or CSI eligible facilities at NJAC 14:8-12.3A1. Pursuant to NJAC 14:8-12.6, NextGrid Inc., referred to as NextGrid or petitioner, filed a petition with the board seeking to waive the prohibition for alleged good cause shown by utilizing a closed landfill and marginalized property. Petitioner seeks to locate a solar project at the Manchester Township landfill site at Block 116, Lot 13, at 110 Sam Pitts Road, also known as 1501 New Jersey 70, Whiting Township, Ocean County, New Jersey, referred to as the project, on land within the preservation area of the Pinelands area, as designated in subsection B of section 10 at PL 1979 C111. The project is planned to be 5.2 megawatts of direct current with battery storage, constructed on 18.4 acres of the landfill within 32 acres of the property. As justification for siting its solar facility on a prohibited land, petitioner pointed to the clean renewable energy generation, the use of a closed landfill in marginalized property, and local community benefits such as job generation and the participation of an environmental justice community identified as an overburdened community in the clean energy economy. Once again, pursuant to the Competitive Solar Incentive or CSI siting rules for consideration of waiving the prohibition for siting CSI eligible facilities on prohibited land uses, in the rules, the board or its designee shall make a positive finding with regard to any such petition only upon 1, consulting with other state agencies as appropriate, 2, determining that the petitioner has documented sufficient facts and circumstances establishing the public's specific interest in citing the CSI eligible facility on or within a specific prohibited land use, and 3, finding that the waiver is in the public interest. Based on the information contained in the petition and correspondence from the Pinelands Commission and the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection supporting a waiver determination and providing cogent rationales for these recommendations, staff recommends that the board make a positive finding that the project as proposed is in the public interest and approve the petitioner's request for a land use waiver. A waiver will allow NextGrid to move forward in the CSI program's second solicitation pre-qualification process for the project despite its location within the preservation area of the Pinelands area, specifically at Block 116, Lot 13.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delue?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bain?
Abstain.
President Gulcedovi?
Yes. Thank you, Laura.
8B, Dr. Diane Watson.
Good morning, President, Commissioners. This item relates to a subsection T application from Miller Brothers to have its Summit City Solar LLC project certified as being located on a properly closed sanitary landfill pursuant to subsection T of the Solar Act of 2012. The applicant's proposed 2.45 megawatt DC project is to be located on 14 acres at the Glassboro Borough landfill site in the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County, New Jersey. Staff reviewed the application and supplied a copy to NJDEP for their review. Tax records obtained by the Division of Law from Gloucester County show that the part of the property for the proposed project, located on portions of Block 357, Lot 1, and Block 358, Lot 1, had been valued, assessed, and taxed pursuant to the Farmland Assessment Act of 1964 for the 10-year period prior to July 24, 2012. Therefore, the development proposed on these parcels does not meet the minimum eligibility requirements for inclusion in the subsection T solar subsidy program. In light of the tax status of the larger blocks and lots, Block 357 Lot 1 and Block 358 Lot 1, NJDEP declined to evaluate the remaining approximately 0.26 acres located on Block 335, Lot 1, for land classification as a properly closed sanitary landfill. In the absence of an NJDEP evaluation, and given the documentation of assessment of the majority of the project site as 3B qualified farmland, staff recommends that the board deny conditional certification for the application. Based on a review of the application, tax records obtained by the Division of Law, and in the absence of an evaluation by NJDEP, staff recommends that the board deny conditional certification for the applicant's 2.45 megawatt DC Summit City Solar LLC project as not being eligible for participation in the subsection T program consistent with the Solar Act of 2012.
So moved.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delune?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Baines? President Gulcedovi?
Yes.
Thank you. 8F. No pressure, Kevin, but we are really on a roll here, moving quickly, so. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. The Clean Energy Act of 2018 directed the board to require each electric and natural gas public utility to achieve annual reductions in electric and natural gas usage by their customers within their service territories. In 2020 and early 2021, board staff worked with these utilities to create energy efficiency, or EE, programs for the 3-year period from July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2024, known as Triennium 1. Additionally, the board found that Butler Electric Company satisfied their requirement to offer programs to their customers when Public Service Electric and Gas Company, PSE&G, began offering its Clean Energy Future energy efficiency program to Butler customers that had PSE&G as their gas utility. The board issued orders on May 24th, July 26th, September 27th, and October 25th of 2023 regarding Triennium 2, which will run from January 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2027. The board designated President Gulcedovi as the presiding commissioner for the filings of Elizabethtown Natural Gas Company, New Jersey Natural Gas Company, and South Jersey Gas Company. The board further designated Commissioner Crystal Delune as the presiding commissioner for the filings of Atlantic City Electric, Jersey Central Power and Light Company, and Rockland Electric Company. The board lastly designated Commissioner Holden as the presiding commissioner for the filings of PSE&G and Butler. The utilities filed their Triennium 2 EE petitions on December 1st, 2023. PSE&G's Clean Energy Future Energy Efficiency 2 filing included programs for Butler's customers. Entities that wish to participate or intervene in the filings had until December 8th to file a motion, and responses to these motions were due on December 15th. On December 26, 2023, staff issued letters advising Elizabethtown Natural Gas, New Jersey Natural Gas, and South Jersey Gas that their Triennium 2 filings were administratively incomplete and required curing to be considered by the board. On December 28, 2023, staff issued letters advising Atlantic City Electric, Jersey Central Power and Light, Public Service Electric and Gas, and Rockland Electric Company that the Triennium 2 filings were administratively incomplete and required curing to be considered by the board. Staff recommends that the board find that the petition filed by PSE&G satisfies the Triennium 2 requirements for Butler Electric Company. Staff also recommends that any new entity wishing to intervene or participate in any of the Triennium 2 utility filings have until 7 days following the issuance of a letter of administrative completeness by staff in order to participate, and that entities have an additional 7 days to respond to these motions. In addition to posting to the public docket in each of these matters, staff proposes to send a listserv notification upon the issuance of these letters for the filings. Lastly, following Commissioner Holden's retirement from the board, staff lastly recommends that the board redesignate presiding commissioners for the PSE&G filings as well as for any other filings if needed.
We're just designating PS today, right? Or are we redesignating all of the? Yes, and all the gas, okay. And all the gas.
All the gas and PS, yeah.
Great. So I will be the presiding commissioner over PS, and Commissioner Abdu will be presiding over the gas filings. Do I need to say those individually?
No, you do not. It's clear in your.
Okay.
as presented in the public.
Just making sure. All right. Any other questions or comments?
If I didn't move it, I'll move it again.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Purcell DeVille?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bain? President Lucidova?
Yes. Thank you, Kevin. We have reached the end at 10:51. I just want to point that out here. If there are no other questions or comments from my colleagues, may I please have a motion to adjourn?
Happily moving that one.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Why happily?
Who took the under?
Yeah.